introduction video of who I am and what I was and where I came from. And I think it's a good idea because I see a lot of, I don't know, I guess the best term I could come up with is fake content creators on YouTube and Rumble and some kind of grifty people. And I don't really like that personally. I don't tend to follow those people and those channels. I don't like kind of I don't like the wacky channels. You know, if you're a comedy channel, I get it. There's different brands of comedy. But if you're a woodworking channel, I guess it works for you to be weird and wacky and take 30 minutes to get to the point or whatever. Hey, it's working for you. At least based on the view count and your shop and your different things you're doing. Excuse me. I totally get it. As a capitalist society, capitalism is the best form of economy this world's ever seen. If you can catch that wave and it works for you, ride it. I'm not gonna hate. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not my flavor of whiskey, if you will. But we started this channel, 3 or 4 months ago. I forget how long ago it was. And we started the channel. I'm not even sure why we started the channel. I say we being myself and my wife. I obviously am the one you see in all the videos. It's my voice that you hear doing the voiceover. Neither of us, and especially my wife, have any experience in video or video editing outside of, kind of the selfie realm. Maybe an application on a phone that allows you to trim something down and maybe add a little effect or whatever. But as far as anything to do with like professional editing or editing equipment, none of it. And I think it probably shows in the videos, sadly. I'm doing my best. Uh, you know, I've never been afraid to tackle a project. And that's where this whole thing comes in. And by this whole thing, if you're new, this is this whole thing. So the container as it sits right now, I've done quite a bit of work to it, whatnot. It's coming along quite well, I think. It's not coming along as quick as I thought it would, to be honest there. But it's coming along, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm not afraid to learn it. It's been intimidating. It's been kind of, at times, a little concerning, but such is life. I guess my background, prior to this, I left my job. I was a new car sales manager for a Ford dealership. I'd spent close to almost a decade in the automobile industry, from starting from sales, going into finance, and ending basically as a sales manager, where I did sales, finance. I did it all, basically. Outside of running the entire store, like, front to back, basically ran the entire sales and finance departments, which was, money was really good for the most part, but it left me very unfulfilled. It left me with a lot more questions than answers. Before that, I was in the food and beverage world, mainly in the beverage world, and bars and bar management, bartending, restaurant bars, casino bars, casino stuff. Did that for about 10 years before. I do have a little bit of background in construction, maybe a year or two, but nothing extensive. I definitely know my way around a car lot better than I know my way around a construction site. But like I said, with the car lot and all of that stuff, it was just very it takes a lot out of you, um, mentally, takes a lot out of you time wise. And for me personally, the money did not outweigh that. I have a lot of things that I want to do in life. And when I mean it takes your time, obviously every job takes your time, especially if you're hourly and punching a clock, which that's the one thing I really loved about being in the car business is it's not an hourly gig. You get paid on what you do. So, that can be scary to some people because one month you might make $2,500, the next month you might make $12,000. And there are people who want the consistency, and I totally get that. I've never been able to really do that. I've never been able to do a repetitive task over and over and over for 8-10 hours a day. I basically go insane. If that's what you do and you love it, more power to you. You're a better person than I am. But I get it too. I have a wife and I have a dog. I don't have kids at the house that I have to take care of constantly, and you know not only emotionally and physically, but like financially. So I was able to save up enough money, kind of rat hole it away, to jump out and do this. I set up a budget of around $25,000 to get this thing totally done, and then another 5,000 basically, so a total of 30,000 to set it on the piece of property that I have. Not here, basically like 2 blocks over, but they're country blocks, so you don't walk them. But I had to answer the question of could I do this? Actually, the first question was, did I have the strength, like emotional strength, to attempt it, to quit the job and to try this? But 2, could I actually do it? Which that question's still up in the air because I would guess I'm about halfway through. And then 3 was the easy question of, is it something you want to do? It's something I wanted to do and attempt and have. The idea of this is to take it, build it, set it, at its final location, and then do vacation, short-term rentals, whatever it is, and do it that way. Hence why I painted it a teal color, to kind of make it stand out, and have this as passive income. Yes, there's going to be some upkeep, and you're going to have to deal with the rental and the cleaning and the this and the that. But this is, the American dream to me of mailbox money. Yes, I know it will be digital money, most likely, something like that. But the concept is the same, that this thing earns money while you sleep. And this may be the first of many, who knows? This may be the start of an entirely new business of doing containers and tiny homes, who knows? But I wanted to try it. I had that burning desire. I'm almost 40 years old, and I had never done anything really on my own. And it was a question in my head that I had to answer. So I have no outside backing on this. I think one of the, we have these grand illusions in our modern world with YouTube, Rumble, social media, all those things of, well, if person A can make money doing this, why can't I? And that's still yet to be determined. I haven't made a single dollar. Well, that's untrue. I've made, I think, about $2.13 off of Amazon affiliate, but I haven't actually been paid it. It's just, once it gets to, I think, $100, will send me a check. So please click the links. Keep the boy afloat. But I was just kidding. If you click the links and you like the products, buy them. Great. That's awesome. If not, it is what it is. I'm never going to ask anyone who is a subscriber, follower, likes my videos, just watches them, all of that stuff. I'm never going to be a grifter or a shill or I'm never going to be fake. Okay? I might start to branch out and do some more kind of funny things as I am in the process of doing this. just to kind of cut the mood or change the mood. But I'm not going to grift off of you guys. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to tomorrow. I'm not going to start talking about how great solar panels are and solar energy is, and then show you a $30,000 solar grid array that someone sent me, and then just, you know, talk it up, and be like, oh yeah, full disclosure, you know, like they sent this to me. But you know, they can send it to me, and I will give it an honest opinion. But that's what you're gonna get, is an honest opinion, my opinion. I'll tell you if it's cool, if it sucks, if it's somewhere in between, if it's easy install, if it's hard install, if it's this, it's that, you know, I'll give you the good, the bad, the ugly, if those things exist. If there's no good, then I'll give you the bad and the ugly. And if it's just, there's no bad and ugly, then I'll give you the good. And I'll give you the full disclosure. You know, I watch a lot of firearms channels on YouTube. Probably the best thing for that genre, and they probably won't agree, but as a viewer, one of the best things was demonetization through YouTube. Not because it's fair, and not because they deserved it, and not because YouTube is right in all of their policies, but because it made a lot of them a lot more honest, because now they weren't getting the added benefit of the monetization through the platform, through YouTube. Now they still get freebies from the gun companies and things like that, but you know, I don't know that you ever get rid of that. But you know, it might have been for the better. They'll probably disagree, and I don't think that they were right to be demonetized. But you know, sometimes there's a benefit from things that you don't see coming, and that leads me into doing something like this. We all can look at the negative side of something. You know, yes, I was able to save enough money for it not to be an issue, you know, at least for about 8 months to a year, depending on costs and whatnot. But not everyone's in that boat. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone has that luxury, that blessing, if you will. So money is always the biggest thing of, it's the biggest obstacle of us not doing something that we want to do. I've always preached to anyone who would listen. Once I figured it out, I would tell anyone who would listen the same thing, whether that was coworkers, friends, family. Some of them, it was obvious they got the message and they understood it, and others, I don't know that they even heard the words or remembered the words a half second after I said them. And that is, if we're focused solely on money for the things that we want to do, like I'm only going to do this thing because it pays this amount, you're setting yourself up for failure in the long run. You're setting yourself up for failure mentally, physically, emotionally. Now, your bank account might look like a total success, but you know, we've all heard the saying, money doesn't buy you happiness, and that's true. I mean, we all can point to a celebrity who had it all, who seemingly to us had it all, and they committed suicide. You know, and that's not a good thing. Or they were, you know, they had it all and they overdosed and came out of it, or you know, or emotional issues, or this or that, and we can all say that, you know, it was, is it chicken or egg, which came first? But we can all say that the money didn't help it. It didn't cure. Let's say they were depressed before they got money. They got all this money and they're still depressed. Well, the money didn't cure it. Probably made it worse. So don't let the lack of funds prevent you from doing something, or at least starting something in your spare time. You know, I was able to quit my job and take this on full time, and it's taken a while. You know, but if it's something like this, or if it's starting a podcast, you know, it's writing a blog, if blogs are still a thing, or Substack, or maybe you just want to write on your computer or on pad and paper like Quentin Tarantino does to this day. and you think you can really write something, do it. Just start doing it. I've been writing, uh, I'll bet you, hell, I don't know that anyone knows outside of a couple of people that I've been writing various things since I was like 12 years old. I remember writing a Beavis and Butthead episode, kind of date myself there, um, just on a sheet of notebook paper. I think when I was 12 or 13 years old, I just wrote this idea I had for a Beavis and Butthead episode. I don't remember it, what the episode was about, but I do remember writing it, and I remember my dad reading it, finding it, because I would hide it. Wouldn't necessarily hide it, but I wouldn't leave it laying out. And I remember him telling me, "Hey, I read that episode you wrote," and like this just fear inside of me hit. I'm like, "Oh my God, no!" And he said, "I thought that was actually really kind of funny." Okay. So I've been writing kind of on and off about different things, and I have a separate YouTube channel from this one that I'm going to launch. Um, it's separate from this because it does not pertain to anything to do with a container home, and it's going to be a little more risque on topics and subject matter, but I just encourage you to try the thing you've always thought about trying. The thing with like writing, with podcasts, with starting a YouTube channel. Here's the thing. It's going to be bad first. It's going to be awful. But everything you do the first time you do it is probably pretty bad. You could have been you know, a collegiate football player, baseball player, volleyball player, whatever, gotten a scholarship to do that sport at a major university, Division One or FCS, FBS, whatever they call it now. Still Division One to me. Again, dating myself. But the first time you walked onto that field or that court, probably weren't very good at it. You know, the age-old story of Michael Jordan getting cut from his high school basketball team. Well, he got a little better, but he wasn't always the greatest. He wasn't even always the greatest when he got in the NBA, and that was after going to North Carolina and after being cut from his high school basketball team. But he kept going, kept doing the thing. And there's a bunch of people that you've never heard of. Maybe you have heard of them, and they were kind of like, your guy or gal because they were maybe in that professional sport. They were mid-grade at best, but you just knew, like, they just gave it their all because they were undersized. They weren't the fastest, they weren't they definitely weren't the best at their craft or their position, but man, no one was going to beat them in effort. They weren't that when they started. Wide receivers in the NFL who catch footballs for a living, they drop a lot of them. Baseball is always one of the better analogies for, we always used it when we talked about sales in the car business, because in the car business, the average is one about every 4 people you talk to on a car lot about buying a car is going to buy one. Well, that's a 25% average. If you hit 250 in baseball, which means is a 25% average, 25% of the time you get a hit, you'll be on a team. Somebody will put you on a team. Now, you may not get that big time money, but you're going to be on the team. You're going to get paid. You're going to travel. You're always going to have work. You fail 75% of the time. Think about that. You're going to fail more than you're going to succeed at these things. If it's writing, if it's gardening, if it's home renovations, if it's a podcast, if it's this, it's that, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be bad when you start. You're going to fail a lot, but you're going to learn more doing that thing, and you're going to be a lot more fulfilled by doing that thing than if you didn't do that thing. So without getting too preachy and too super motivational speakery here, hopefully that gives you kind of an idea of what this channel has been about, will be about, what I'm about. And if it inspires you to do your own thing, that's fantastic. Whether that thing, you know, is a huge success or a failure, who cares? You know, if you look up the speech from Theodore Roosevelt called The Man in the Arena, look up that speech, The Man in the Arena. It is one of the most motivational speeches you'll ever see, you'll ever read, you will ever hear. And I believe that has been the mantra of one Tom Brady for all of his career, has been the man in the arena. Doesn't just apply to men, it can be women too. So look up that speech, and at the end of it, ask, would you rather be the man in the arena or the other one? Hopefully you enjoyed this. Like it, comment, subscribe if you will. I much appreciated. Comments, leave topic ideas if you like this format. Let me know. If you hate this format, let me know. I appreciate some constructive criticism as opposed to just straight criticism, but you know, I can take the good with the bad and all you uglies. But hopefully you appreciate this. Hopefully this opens your eyes to what I'm trying to do, and hopefully this motivates some of you out there to try that thing you've always wanted to try to do. But for now, this is Rudy for the Okie Homies channel. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.